welcome back to my channel. So first of all, happy New Year's. I'm sorry this video is coming out late. I've been trying to get to y'all all day, I promise you, but you know it's New Year's Eve, so I had to clean up, wash my clothes, you know, do all the little stuff that you got to do on New Year's Eve. But whatever, I'm here, I made it. So yes, if you can see by the title, we're gonna do a story time on this here New Year's Eve, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all about the time that they tricked me and locked me up. Okay, but before we get started, y'all, I'm stressed out. I'm gonna be honest. I got my hookah right there, so let's go ahead. Hold on, let me. Y'all, oh my god, I've been trying to get to this video all day, so I went and got a little rosé. Somebody was calling, but anyway, so I went and got some drinks so we can be litty during this story time. But yeah, Sutter Home, they got a new rosé. I never seen this one, so I usually get, I don't know what I just usually get either sweet red or Moscato. It don't matter. But y'all, I'm pouring up. Hold on, y'all can't even see. So yes, hopefully if you watching this, you got you a drink because it's New Year's Eve. Y'all know how it go. It's only right to have you a little something, you know. I didn't want to get nothing too serious, but and yes, I already opened the bottle, y'all. I wanted to open it with y'all, but I couldn't. Like, my whole day has been super stressful, so I opened it up earlier and had some mimosas. But anyway, let's get into this story time. Okay. So for people that do not know, I live in Atlanta. So yes, y'all, I got locked up in Atlanta. Really 3 times, but this story is about the 2 times that I got locked up. And it happened twice, all based on the same situation. So this what happened. So I was out late one night, driving home. At the time, I had a brand new Chevy Cruze. I love that car, y'all. But anyway, so I'm driving home, and it was raining, and it was late. So it wasn't a lot of people on the road, but the people that was on the road, we was kind of driving fast because, you know, it's late or whatever. Everybody trying to get home. We was kind of like grouped up. For some reason, the street that I was going down, it was kind of like a lot of cars. It wasn't just me out there. So I'm driving home, and I didn't even see the police, but it was a lot of people driving. So, and it was raining or whatever. So what happened was I switched lanes to get over and maneuver, and you know how it is when you're driving. And next thing I know, I heard the cherries, the police. I'm like, oh my God, like, what is it now? Because just a really quick backstory, I used to get a lot of tickets. Like when I first started driving, I used to get a lot of speeding tickets. So I'm like so over the tickets and so over the police. So when I heard the sirens, I was just like, no, you know, not again, you know, in this new city. Because when this happened, I had been here in Atlanta for about maybe 1 or 2 years. So I'm like, oh my God, not again. Right? So he pulled me over, and I'm like, well, what did you pull me over for? He said, oh, you didn't signal. I didn't put on my blinker. I'm like, ugh. You know, because it's like, come on, that's petty. It was so many cars out there, and everybody was flying. Like, we was all together. You know what I'm saying? So for them to single me out and try to use the no signal thing, it's like, you know, they always just try to pick at something just to pull you over. And that's kind of what this was. So he pulled me over and said I didn't signal. I'm like, okay, whatever. So he leave. It took him a minute. He come back. Now, y'all, let me tell you this about Atlanta. So I'm from St. With originally. And in St. Louis, you know, every state you have to have insurance, right? But in St. Louis, you can kind of get by with not having insurance. All you really got to do is long as you got an insurance card, you good. If they pull you over, show them your card, your card and you good. You can make up a fake card. You can use a real card that you had, but like maybe your insurance has lapsed, but you still got your car. Like whatever. You don't, it's like you can get away with not having insurance in St. Louis. So that's what I was used to, honestly. So when I moved here and I got this brand new car, and you know what brand new cars, you have to have insurance. So not only did I have to have insurance for my new car, but you know, you gotta have insurance for the state or whatever. So long story short, I didn't have insurance. I didn't have insurance. The insurance was expensive because, you know, I needed full coverage. And so I was, you know, just trying to use my old ways and just try to get by without it. And that was a big mistake. And I learned that the hard way. So he came back. He told me that I didn't have insurance. He told me that my license was suspended, which I did not know. And he told me that my registration was suspended. Now, remind you, it's 2:00 in the morning. I'm just trying to get home at this point. I'm like, okay, whatever. Just give me the tickets. No, it don't work like that. Not in Atlanta, it don't. So for one, the fact that I didn't have insurance, he was like, well, you know, we got to tow your car, right? We can't let you drive this car without insurance. So I'm like, okay. And I wasn't far from home. I mean, I wasn't far. I might have been maybe 4 miles at this point when he pulled me over. So I'm like, okay, you know, that's fine. Tow my car. I don't care. I'll walk at this point. I'll call a cab. I'll call anybody. Just take my car, whatever. Just let me go. He was like, oh no. Driving on suspended license is grounds for being arrested. And I'm like, what? I'm talking to him like, well, can we just, you know, let that go? I mean, how about you go ahead and tow my car and then just let me go? You know, I was leaving the club and I had just bought a fish plate. Like I was low key drunk at the time. I'm just like, bro, just let me go home, please. Like I don't need this right now. It's 2:00 in the morning and you talking about towing my car and taking me to jail because of no insurance, suspended license, and suspended registration. I'm like, I can't just get no tickets. And we talk about this in court. He's like, nope, nope. This is you can be arrested for this. And I'm like, oh my God. So he calling back up. And the thing about it, like you could tell he was like a rookie. You could tell he was a rookie cop because basically he really wanted to arrest me. It was like he wanted to go through the steps of everything he had to do, like he was in training or something. Like he was really getting off on the fact that he had him one that he could, you know, get arrested, tow the car. Like he would not let up. So long story short, I got arrested. They towed my car. They took me to jail. And on the way there though, so I'm in the car, I'm begging with this man, like, please don't take me to jail, please, please, please. And he just wouldn't do it. So he was like, well, is there anything you need out of your car that you want to take with you, whatever? I'm like, yes. So I was like, let me get my purse. And then I had, like I said, I had my fish plate. He was like, well, you know, your car gonna be in the tow yard and it probably is not a good idea to leave food in here. He was like, so I'm gonna just go ahead and throw this food in the trash. This man threw my food away, my plate from the club, threw my food away. So anyway, so he threw my food away. I got my purse. I got in the back of his car. They towed my car and we on our way to jail. In, what was it? It was it wasn't DeKalb, it was Decatur. I want to say it was city of Decatur, which I know everybody heard of Decatur in Atlanta, but city of Decatur is really small as far as the police department is concerned. They actually don't even have a jail, the city of Decatur. So if you get arrested in city of Decatur, they will take you to DeKalb County Jail. So that's where we was on our way to. So we on our way there, right? And I'm just sitting in the back. I ain't saying nothing. And why all of a sudden I start smelling weed? I'm like, what is this smell? Y'all, oh my God. Why did I have a bag of weed in my purse in, like, you know, the little secret zip little pockets? You know how the purses be. Why I had some weed in there? I'm like, oh my God, Lord. How did I get myself in this situation? I'm like, please don't let them find this weed. Because it was loud, like you could smell it. You could really smell it. So long story short, we get there. I go in. I'm trying to think, did I have how was my hair? Because I don't know if it was this time or one of the other times, but it's like they make you take your weave off. I can't remember if I had a wig on. I don't know. I can't remember what it was, but it was like they made me take a weird picture. I don't know. I'm gonna have to find them pictures. I'm gonna have to find them mug shots. But so you know how they do when they process your property. So they put me in the cell, the little holding cell, and eventually I came out, so they could process my property so that they could take everything, you get it back later. Oh my God. I was in there praying to God. They did not find the weed because you could smell it. So I'm standing up there with the lady, and what they do is they take every little single thing that you have and make a note. Like, okay, you got a lighter, or you got a wallet, or you got, they have to make a note of everything you have. So she picking through my purse, going through everything. But for some reason, I don't know, the grace of God, she didn't go in that little secret zip pocket, because that's where the weed was. But she commented. She was like, "Ooh," she's like, "Who it smell like? Your purse smell like weed." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know." You know what I'm saying? Trying to brush it off. So I got past. She did not find the weed. Thank God. Oh my God. Because that would have been 10 times worse. I mean, a little couple traffic tickets is fine, but to get a possession charge, I'm like, oh, hell no. So luckily she didn't find it. But yeah, so long story short, they straight locked me up for suspended license. Like, who does that? What city does that? Atlanta is so strict, y'all. I'm telling you, I love being here, but it is so strict. Like, if you come here, you got to have your stuff in order. You know what I'm saying? No playing games. You got to have your paperwork. You got to have everything. And as far as the insurance, the reason he knew I didn't have insurance, because I gave him my insurance card, my little old one. The reason he knew I didn't have insurance, because in Atlanta, they run your license plate and it come up in the system if you have it or not. So they don't even need no insurance card. Either you in the system is having insurance or you not. So he knew I didn't have it. So that day, I'm trying to think, how did I get out? I think I ended up getting out the next day. Oh, I remember what it was. So this is what happened. So yeah. So this is what happened. So they booked me in, and this was this my first time getting locked up? Because I'm like, I didn't know what the process was. But come to find out, why the bond came up to $6,000 to get out. And it was a weekend. Like I said, I was at the club, so it was a weekend. And you can't see the judge on the weekend, if I'm not mistaken. I couldn't see the judge till Monday. So I would have had to sit there until I seen the judge and got a court date or whatever to get out. So I had to bond out. I got a daughter. At the time, I had a 5-year-old daughter. So I'm like, I gotta get up out of here. I can't be in here for 2 days. You know what I'm saying? Plus it's jail. Like, I can't be in here. So my bond was $6,000, y'all. Oh my God. I'm like, where I'm finna get $6,000 from? And why is it so expensive? Each charge, the fines was like $2,000. So when I finally got my phone call, I called my people. My baby's grandma was living here at the time. And we was like, okay, we got to get you a bail bondsman. So we figured that out. But then we hit another snag. Basically, you have to be a resident of Atlanta for 2 years in order to, do the bail bondsman process. You can't just come out of nowhere and be like, yeah, I got the money. You have to be a resident of the state for 2 years, and you got to have paycheck stubs. So it's not easy to, get a bail bondsman. You got to have requirements. And she, like I said, she had just moved here. She not from here either. We had both just moved here. So she wasn't a resident, and she didn't have no paycheck stubs because she a business owner. So I'm like, oh my God, like, how am I finna find somebody that's gonna put name on the line for me? Because like I said, I had just got here not even a year or 2 years ago, so I didn't know that many people. But the people that I did know, so anyway, so the people the people, obviously, I called at the time. I was actually working at the club at that time. So I called the manager at the club where I was working at and begged him, like, please, I'm in jail. I just left the club. You just seen me, but now I'm locked up. Can you please? Like, I had the money, but I didn't have the credentials. Like, I wasn't even a resident for 2 years. I didn't even have paycheck stubs, or I might have had paycheck stubs. But I needed somebody to, put their name up for me. I had the money. So I can't remember if he didn't answer the phone or he just wouldn't do it. But anyway, I ended up finding somebody else, the security guard at the club. See, he liked me at the time. So, he would probably do anything for me. So I had my baby's grandma call him and link up with him so they can go to the bail bondsman to bail me out. But first she had to come to my house and get the money. To bond out is always 10% of the bond. So I had to come up with the bond was $6,000, but for some reason, plus the fees and everything to bond me out, the 10% was still like $800. So I didn't have to come out of $800, y'all, out of nowhere just to get out of jail. And honestly, looking back, I wish I would have just sat there and saved my money, because I was under the impression that after you go to court, you get your money back. But that wasn't the case. So yeah, that was literally $800 down the drain. So I'm trying to think, how long was I there? I was only there like a night. Y'all, I was in a cell. It wasn't nobody in there with me though. I had my own cell, but it was 2 beds. But I was looking out the window, and the way they got the windows, because I was trying to see, because I know where the jail is. It's actually by my house. I was trying to like look outside and see like, outside. But the way they got the windows set up, when you look outside, you can't see anything. All you can see is the sky. Like literally you can't see downward at all. So I didn't know what direction I was facing. I didn't know anything. I'm just like, Lord, please get me up out of here. It was cold. The bed was hard. I just felt, oh my God, I just felt terrible. It was really a horrible experience being in jail, y'all. Even for a day, I was like, really, for a traffic ticket, y'all gonna put me in jail? Like, I'm a nice young lady. Like, y'all couldn't let me go? So long story short, they bonded me out. I got out, right? I got my court date. I went to court. So I went to court. When I went to court, I was like, my plan was to pay my fines. I'm thinking, okay, I'll just pay my fines, and that'll be the end of it, right? So I get in there. I get up to the judge. He's talking about, okay, altogether it'll be like $2,500 for your fines. I'm thinking it's gonna be a couple hundred. You know what I'm saying? 500 max. He's talking about $2,500. And he said, and if you don't have it, then we're going to have to put you on probation until you pay the balance off. I'm like, what? Like, what type of Twilight Zone? Like I said, I'm from St. Louis, and I done had a million speeding tickets. I done been pulled over 1,000 times. So, and I ain't never been through this. $2,500 for some traffic tickets? Come on now. Like, that's ridiculous. So I'm like, that ain't gonna work. And I'm trying to think, how did I get out? I'm trying to think who told. Oh, I know what it was. Did this happen before or after? I can't remember, but I do know that what I ended up doing, oh yeah, I talked to the prosecutor. When you go to court, you can kind of talk on the side before you go see the judge to kind of figure out what you're gonna do. And somehow, I forgot who told me, but they was like, why don't you send your case over to the state? Because remember, like I said, the tickets was in the city of Decatur. So they just trying to get money out of people. They're a small, municipality or whatever you want to call it. And so they just like money hungry. But so what I did was, I was like, well, I want to get my case bonded over to the state, to let the state court look at it and, do what they got to do. Because 9 times out of 10, them fines not going to be as high coming from the state of Georgia versus the city of Decatur. So they was like, okay, well, we'll mail you your new court date once we get it, because it got to come from the state. It couldn't come from city of Decatur couldn't tell me my new court date. I had to wait for the mail. Okay. So the address on my ID was different from the address where I lived. And they asked me, they was like, is this your address? I was like, oh no, it's not. So I wrote down my address, and they was like, okay, so check the mail, for your new court date. Long story short, fast forward, months went past, and I never got anything in the mail. And really, I've kind of forgot about it. I quit tripping off of it. It just slipped my mind. I just wasn't thinking about it because I gave them my address. They said they was gonna mail me something, so I thought I had did my part. Why? Okay, fast forward. While I'm out to eat with one of my friends, and it was a Thursday, I remember, and the bail bondsman people called me, and I'm like, hello. They was like, yeah, you got court tomorrow. I'm like, okay. I'm like, oh, okay, because, I've been waiting on the court date and I never got anything. I'm like, okay, I'll be there. Right? Y'all, long story short, and I think I had to work. I can't remember, but I just remember I was dressed for work because I was working at that time. I had a 9 to 5 at that time. So somehow when I went to court, I had my daughter with me. So I go to court that next day, like he told me. I get there and I went into the courtroom and I made it all the way up to the judge, and they was like, oh, we don't see your name on the docket. I'm like, huh? I'm like, okay, well, let me go out here and ask, the little clerk or whatever, like, am I in the right courtroom? What's going on? They was like, yeah, we don't see your name. They was like, matter of fact, just have a seat. So I'm like, okay. About 10-15 minutes later, somebody came up. It was the guy from the bail bondsman. It was the bail bondsman guy. He came up there because I think he told me to call him when I got there or something like that. I can't remember. But I'm sitting there, me and my daughter. 10 minutes later, he walked up with an officer. They was like, okay, you can come with us or whatever. They took me out right outside. And she started reading me my rights. My Miranda rights, like she was finna arrest me and lock me up. So I'm like, hold on, what's going on? They was like, yeah, you got a warrant out because you missed your court date. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? What court date? What court date is you talking about? Now, remind you, I got my daughter with me and everything. I'm dressed for work. I'm looking nice, everything. I'm like, really? Y'all finna do this to me again? The bail bondsman is the one that set it up because, the bail bondsman is the one that lose money when you don't show up to court. So I guess they had lost their $6,000. So they was trying to get me, basically he turned me in just so he can get his money back. So when she said that, I'm looking at him like, bro, like, come on. Like, I said, I have not received nothing in the mail. I gave these people my new address. I said, this is not my fault. I'm like, y'all cannot be serious. And then since I had my daughter with me, they feel so sorry for me, y'all. I know they feel sorry for me. I could tell. They was like, well, because the court that I was at is where the jail was actually. So they was like, well, how about this? We'll make your bond only $100 so that you can easily get right back out. And it was like, and also, do you have somebody that can come pick up your daughter? We'll wait to process you before until you get somebody to pick her up. I'm like, oh my God, y'all. And make it so bad. Why? This was the same day that her grandma was moving out of Atlanta. So luckily, I caught her. Like, she was literally packing up her U-Haul and was about to get up out of here when I caught her. Like, wait. No. Come save me. Come pick up, my daughter and take her to the babysitter. And please bring $100 with you. Or I think I had 100. I can't remember. To buy me out. So even though we had the $100, like before I even got locked up, you still have to go through the process. So I still had to be booked in and all that or whatever. And even though I did get out, I finally got out later that night. But it's like they still have to go through the process. And if you ever been in jail, it's a slow process. Because I remember when I got out, it was dark. So yeah. So when I got out, they gave me a new court date. I actually had my new court date for the state court before I even got out. So long story short, just so I won't leave y'all hanging, it's just so you would know how it ended. Y'all won't believe why when I went to state court, the lady looked at my record, which is like a manila folder with all your, stuff. It was nothing there, because I'm not from here. So I didn't have nothing in my file. She looked at it and she was like, well, since you don't have no priors or anything else going on, she was like, how about we, throw out everything and just give you driving too fast for conditions. I said, yes, absolutely, definitely, definitely. So she threw out the no insurance, or did she keep the no insurance? I can't remember if she kept that one or not. But she threw out the driving on suspended, and she threw out the suspended registration. My fines ended up being only like $250, $300, and at the time I didn't feel like giving them people no money, so I was on probation for 30 days until I paid it. But yes, and I'm so glad I did that, because here I am, city of Decatur wanted me to pay $2,500, but I took it to the state court and ended up getting out with only paying like $350. So yeah. But anyway, y'all, that's my story, y'all. I've been locked up 3 times here. I was locked up another time. I'm gonna tell y'all about that another time. But yeah, this time was crazy. And see, this is the stuff they don't tell you about Atlanta. They have license plate readers like throughout the city, and the police have them, so they can read your license plate like that. So if you don't have insurance, they gonna know. If you driving on suspended license, they gonna lock you up. If you don't have insurance, they gonna tow your car. Like it did. So then, like that first time, I didn't even tell y'all about that. Like when I got out, I had to get my car back, and then to get your car out the tow, you gotta have insurance. So before I could even get my car that first time I got locked up, I had to buy insurance. Make sure I had all my paperwork. Like, y'all, it was a mess. I done been through so much being here, but it just made me a stronger person, a more knowledgeable person, and it just made me make sure I have my business in order. So now you won't catch me without insurance. You won't catch me speeding, none of that. It's like I done had all my run-ins with the police, and I'm just over it. Like I just be wanting to walk that straight line, like, so that way when the police get behind me, I'm not scared. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I know all my stuff in order. They're not finna mess with me. Like, I done already been there and done that. So, yeah. What time is it? It's going on, no, it's going on 8. So, yes, y'all, that's pretty much it for this video. If you made it to the end, thank you for watching my story time. And if you made it to the end, I want to wish you a happy New Year's. I'm probably not going to be up at 12. No, I probably will be up, because I be up. I really be up. I just be up. But anyway, y'all, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. And I will see y'all next year. Bye.